Welcome back, and in this video we're continuing a remake of the ZX Spectrum classic Jetpack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lightweight observer pattern for this. Now I know that's it's like, what are you talking about, a lightweight observer pattern? It's all going to be, it's a fairly simple idea. The idea is that I'm going to create a score manager, which is, we've got a rocket manager and a drop manager over here, and the score manager is going to get notified when something happens. So when the player picks up an object, when a player picks up a piece of fuel, that kind of thing. And then that's going to update the score. And when the score updates, there's going to be an automatic event that gets triggered. And the score itself, this text box here, is actually going to update itself just by listening to the score. So I don't need to hook in anything. Well, I need to hook up a couple of events. But you'll see that it's actually quite simple to create this. And I'm going to show a little trick on how we can get the name of something as well. So let's create the score manager just now. So score manager. And then I'm going to create an empty object. I'm going to call it score manager. And again, this is going to be a singleton because it allows me my singletons. And I'm going to drop that up into our scripts area there. Again, all of this is just for organization, so I can see where the scripts are and I can see where the objects are. That's really all there is there. And then I'm going to add my score manager component. And once again, I'm going to have my private static score manager instance, public static score manager instance, get, and then it's going to be if instance equals null, instance, game object dot find object of type score manager return instance. So this is a very similar singleton that we would have for other singletons in this. So the rocket manager, the drop manager, all that kind of stuff are singletons. Actually, is the drop manager singleton? I'm not sure if it is actually. Yeah, it is. I think singleton. So very similar pattern. And to be honest, you could actually have like a singleton mono behavior and then put this inside here, and then you wouldn't have to keep doing this kind of boilerplate code all the time. You just have score manager, singleton. Actually, because this is a short video, maybe we'll get to that. Anyway, so we've got this here. We also need to have a public int score, get return score, set score equals value, and we're also going to have an on property changed event as well. So I need to have public event event handler, and this is going to be a string, and this is going to be property changed. So when the property changes, whatever property that is, then I'm going to add using system in there. So anytime this property changes, we're going to notify any callers of that. So we've got our private static there. We also need our private int score. And for this one, we need to do on property changed. And then we're just going to do that. That's all we're going to do, okay? Now, how does this know that the score's changed? Because we need a string in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to say protected void on property changed string property name that. And so we need to pass in property name. Now what we could do is we could pass in score, and that's perfectly valid, and we could do that. However, just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves, what we can do is we can do caller name. Is it caller name? What's that? The attribute again. Caller member name. Now this is an attribute, and what it does is it does the hard thing for us, which is it passes in the property name. So we don't even need to know the property name, we just notify that that property has changed. So I'm going to say property changed, question mark dot invoke, and then property name. So this here is going to, why is that not liking that? Oh, sorry, sender. It's going to be this, and then property name. So this is going to call any subscribers and let them know that this property has changed. And then all you need to do is you need to check to see if the score has changed, and if the score has changed, you read the score, and you get a score and you update it. Okay, so that's as simple as this class is going to get. We are going to add a couple of more things though. So we're going to have public void pick up fuel, score plus equals, and that's 100. And then we're going to have public void pick up gem, score plus equals 250. And then we need public void kill alien. We don't have aliens in it yet, but may as well put them in here. Plus equals 25. And then you don't get anything for anything else. That's the only scores that you get in the game. Is pick up fuel, pick up gem, kill alien, and that's it. And then in our locomotion, so inside here we got on trigger enter, we got pick up rocket part, we got pick up the item. So we got drop manager instance pick up object, and then we have pick up fuel. So our pick up fuel, where's our pick up fuel down here? That's our pick up fuel there. Hang on 1 second. That's our pickup fuel there. So inside here, we can do, that's drop fuel, sorry. Pickup fuel, we can also do score manager.instance.pickup fuel. And then inside here, we can do score manager.instance.pickup gem. And that's that. Okay. So now we have our locomotion who, it doesn't know that it's gonna, we're basically separating these concerns. We're saying, okay, this locomotion thing is gonna call this score manager, but that's all. It doesn't know how to update the score or do any of these things. So inside here, I'm gonna call this script Scorelistener. So Scorelistener. And our Scorelistener is going to say on start, it's going to be score manager.instance.property changed plus equals, and then it's object, and then property name. So if the property name is, so what am I doing here? So this is saying, this is the event. You can see it's got a little lightning thing there, so that's an event. And we're subscribing to that event using the plus equals operator. And then we're saying this is an object of type O, so you can put an object here and string here. So we're explicitly saying what those values are, but because C# and the compiler and the IDE, they know what you mean because they know it's an object, they know it's a string. For this here, you don't actually need to put that in there because if you hover over it, you can see that property name is a string and O is of type object. So you don't really need to put in these, and it kind of messes up the code really. And then inside here, we also need tmp pro, public tmp pro dot tmp text, what was it, text, tmp pro text, is it text? Yeah, I think it's that. Score indicator. Okay, and then we say if property name equals score. So if it's the property that we're expecting, you can do score indicator dot text equals score manager dot instance dot score. So we just update the score, but we also need to do dot to string. Okay, and we can get rid of these. So now we have, this is basically our subscriber, and that subscriber will get any notifications that the score manager does to the score. And if we go back to our score manager, the score gets updated by setting the value of score. So score equals score plus 100, score equals score plus 250, that kind of thing. And then it gets, then on property changed gets called. The on property changed, that then calls the event, and that is what this is subscribing to. So all of these are connected but loosely coupled. That's the word I'm looking for, loosely coupled, which is what we like in software. We don't like things jammed tight together. So if I go to the canvas here and I've got score, all I need to do is add Scorelistener, which is, I'm going to scroll this down here. You can see that Scorelistener is just this score indicator, and I can just drag score onto there, and then that's it. It's just that simple. So now when I play this, it should update the score. So I'll go here and I'll pick up the gem. Boom, 250, 350, because I picked up that fuel as well. Now you notice that it doesn't have leading zeros, so we need to fix that as well. So we can fix that in just a wee second, but 700, and then where we got here? Yeah, 700 to 950 is 250. So all of that has happened, and we didn't really need to do anything else. Very, very simple class. So our toString here, instead of doing that, what we're going to do is, what have we got here? We pass in this, and then I think you can do, is it 6 in, or is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that's not right. 1 second, I'm trying to remember how to format this. 1 second. Not even close. 0,6. Okay, and then go back to here. So now, so you notice that the score hasn't updated, so it's not constantly updating. It only updates when you pick something up, and that's the beauty of this. So this is going to update to that. Well, that's not right. The docs lied to me. 1 second, please. Well, sometimes you have to go with your gut, and my gut was it's just 6 zeros, and it turns out it is just 6 zeros. So thank you, not Microsoft Docs, but once again, Stack Overflow. This video is brought to you by Stack Overflow. It's not, we're not sponsored. So anyway, there you go. It's updating 250. And let's, you know what, let's go for, so we've got a score listener. Let's have one called, there's a bonus one here for you. Hi, score listener. Okay. And I'm going to drop that inside high score. So high score now has our high score listener. And our high score listener has basically the same as this here, with one exception. So we'll get this one here, and I'm going to say int high score. If score manager dot instance dot score is greater than high score equals score manager dot instance dot score. Oops, deleted that instead of cutting it. And then we want to say high score in there. Okay, so once again, we haven't changed anything inside Score Manager. Score Manager doesn't know who subscribes to it. It doesn't know what it's going to do when you subscribe to it, but that's what it's got there. So when we go to our high score listener, I'm going to drag high score into here, and when we run it, we'll see that high score will now update with the same value as score. And we can test that theory in just a sec. So put that in here. Boom, there you go. Oh, the only difference is that, yeah, okay. Yeah, kind of screwed that up a little bit. Yeah, that's gone a bit weird, isn't it? Oh, because I think that's got, I know why. High score has got, go to text mesh. Yeah, there's a blank line in there. So if I get rid of that blank line, and I say orient it to the bottom, there we go. That's a bit better. And then I can bring it up a little bit to there. Okay, that's good. And it's not quite the same level, but that's good enough for today's purpose. It did do something a bit weird there though with the padding. I thought it did anyway. So, oh, it didn't. Okay, 250, 350. Okay, that's fine. It's working. Okay. So that's good. And then just to make sure it's not the same, so we can do score indicator dot text equals, and we'll do this here. High score equals 500. So high score is going to be equal to 500 to start with, and we're going to update the high score to be the current one, and then when the property changes, then it's going to add to it. So we'll see that the high score, so the high score is currently 500. So we just pick up a couple of gems, we should get to the 500 mark quite quickly. So we've got 250, so high is still 500. We pick up fuel, it's 350. So drop that off. And then if we wait, well, we've got to pick up our gem here, haven't we? Yeah. And that's going to pick up the fuel again. So now our high score is 700, if you notice that just changed. So everything is good. So there you go. So that's good to know. Okay. So we can get rid of this one here because it's just a wee test. And that's our high score. Now, I was going to mention what we can do is we can tidy up these singletons. So let's do that as well, because the video is not that long. It's like 18 minutes. So I think we can do some tidying up here and get the singletons sorted out. Okay, so for a singleton, what we want to do is go back to here. What I want to say is I want to create a singleton mono behavior. Singleton mono behavior, and for singleton mono behavior, I want to say it's a T, where T mono behavior. Oops, don't want that there. Want that there. So what I'm saying here is I want to create this class here called singleton behavior, but it's a typed class, which means that there's going to be a property or a method in here that's going to take type T, but I need to know what type of object it is, because that's kind of important for the singleton portion of it, because it has to be a mono behavior. So what I'm saying is that this object here is going to be a mono behavior. It's going to be part of an object, but it has to, the type that you give has to be of mono behavior. In other words, it has to be a script of some kind. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip off this bit here. I'm going to copy that there. I'm going to paste that in there. And instead of score manager, I'm going to change that to T. I'm going to change that to T as well. I'm going to change that to T. And that is it. That's us creating a generic singleton mono behavior. And now all you need to do is, instead of having this here littered all over your code, what you can then do is, I want to have a singleton mono behavior score manager. And you just get rid of this. So we go back to here, recompile, everything should still work. Let's test that out. So we've got our score, still 0, 0. So when we pick this up, it should go to 255, and it does. So everything's still working, but you can see that this is nice and neat now. I don't need to worry about the instance variables, the static instance variables. Everything's all held inside this singleton mono behavior, and I can go into here and I can see that that's what we got here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for our drop manager. So our drop manager here has got our instance. So I'm going to change that to singleton mono behavior drop manager. So I can get rid of this, and I can get rid of this. So that's our drop manager done. And then I'm going to do the same thing for rocket manager. So again, we go to rocket manager. Grab a copy of that, might as well. Get rid of this, so which is our static instances. And then we're going to change that to singleton mono behavior rocket manager. And then what else do we have? We had a score manager, drop manager. Is that everything? I think that's everything. Score manager, drop manager. Yeah, that's right. Rocket manager, drop manager, score manager. Okay. And so now we've got our rocket manager, that works. We've got our drop manager works, and our score manager works. And we've tidied up the code a little bit more. So that's it. That's everything for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching, and catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it the old thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it the old thumbs down. Leave a comment below as well. All of these things help rise us up in the YouTube algos, and I really appreciate it because it really drives the channel forward a little bit. And as always, if you did enjoy this, you got this far, and you want timely reminders of when I put new videos up, then don't forget to hit the old subscribe button and notification bell, and YouTube will work its algorithms and give unto you these videos, whatever, or not. It's up to you. It's a free country. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.